Hello and welcome all in this video. So, our today's topic for discussion is life cycle of malaria parasite, that is about the Plasmodium vivax, which is a well-known malaria fever parasite. So, in this video, we will focus on asexual life cycle of this parasite, which just takes place in the body of the human being. So this will be our first video about this particular topic, and in this topic we will focus on asexual life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. So before starting the life cycle, there are some points related with this parasite. So Plasmodium vivax is a most common malaria parasite and which is characterized by a 48-hour cycle between the first malaria fever and subsequent recurrence of chills and fever. So this cycle is repeated again and again. After 48 hours, this parasite is intracellular in case of man. So it is an intracellular parasite in man found in the RBC and liver cells, while this is extracellular in mosquito, which is found in alimentary canal and salivary glands of the mosquito. So remember it, this parasite is intracellular in man and extracellular in mosquito. Then about the host, this parasite is digenetic, that is being digenetic, so it can require two hosts to complete their life cycle. So one of the hosts of this parasite is human being or man, and second host of this parasite is the mosquito. In case of man, it has been completed a sexual cycle in two phases. The first phase, which takes place asexually in man, that phase or that stage is called as liver schizogony. So in this stage, multiplication of this parasite takes place asexually and forming a stage that is called as merozoites. So in liver, multiplication of these parasites takes place and forming merozoites, and this is the first phase which occurs in the liver cell in the man, that is called as liver schizogony. And second stage, which is also takes place in the human being, that is called as erythrocytic schizogony. Erythrocytes means RBCs. So in RBCs, again these parasites multiply and forms gametocytes, and that particular phase is called as erythrocytic schizogony. So the plasmodium completed two phases in human being. One is called as liver schizogony stage, and second stage which is completed, second phase is also completed in human being, that is called as erythrocytic schizogony. While in mosquito, sexual part of the life cycle is completed of this parasite in mosquito. Again follow two phases. First phase is called as gametogony. In this stage, production and fusion of gametes takes place. And in the second stage, which is called as sporogony, in this stage, sporozoites are formed. So we know that the sporozoites is the infective stage of this parasite. So let us see by the diagram a sexual cycle of Plasmodium vivax in man. So suppose this is the infective stage of this parasite, which is called as sporozoites. So such a type of many sporozoites enter into the body of the healthy person by the infection when a female Anopheles mosquito bites to the healthy person, and if in the salivary glands of that female Anopheles mosquito having sporozoites, such types of many sporozoites then enter into the body of the healthy person, because this mosquito can secrete saliva at the time of biting to the human being, and the purpose of secreting saliva to check the blood clotting. So along with this saliva, thousands of sporozoites enter into the body of any person. So about the sporozoite, which is the infective stage of this parasite. So there are having a separate video about the structure of this sporozoite. So we are now moving to the next stage, that is called as liver schizogony. So after the entry of these sporozoites at a time, single time, there is having thousands of sporozoites enter into the body of the healthy person, and these sporozoites then enter into the liver cells, that is in the hepatic cells, and here they multiply asexually by schizogony, and that multiplication which takes place in the liver cell, that is called as liver schizogony. This liver schizogony has again two phases. One is called as pre-erythrocytic schizogony, and second one is called as exoerythrocytic schizogony. So at the time of pre-erythrocytic schizogony, when the sporozoites enter into the liver cells, they can enter into the hepatic cells and becomes rounded. At the time of entry, the sporozoites are somewhat elongated sickle-shaped structure. After the entry into the liver cells, they become rounded, and that stage is called as cryptozoites. So now the sporozoites are converted into cryptozoites, and these cryptozoites grows for number of days into the liver cells and multiply there and forms large number of uninucleated cells, that is called as cryptomerozoites. So at the time of entry of this parasite into the liver cell, they are having the name sporozoite. The sporozoites then converted into the cryptomerozoites when they leave the liver cells. So cryptozoites converted into sporozoites. First of all, sporozoites converted into cryptozoites. Cryptozoites then converted into thousands of cryptomerozoites. And they can now liberate, they can now leave the liver cells by bursting the hepatic cells, and this is the end of the pre-erythrocytic phase. So during pre-erythrocytic schizogony, blood remains sterile and its inoculation does not produce infection. Then the second stage after pre-erythrocytic schizogony, which is called as exoerythrocytic schizogony or exoerythrocytic phase. Exoerythrocytic phase. In exoerythrocytic phase, after the liberation or liberating of the cryptomerozoites, some of the cryptomerozoites enter fresh liver cells to becomes metacryptozoites. So cryptozoites then convert into crypto or metacryptozoites. Cryptomerozoites enter fresh liver cells to become metacryptozoites, and again they undergo schizogony as like that of the previous one, producing number of metacryptozoites or metacryptomerozoites in exoerythrocytic schizogony stage. And this may be repeated several times, and at each time thousands of such parasites are produced, and this may be repeated several times, and each time new liver cells can infected, and this particular stage is called as exoerythrocytic schizogony. It has been reported that metacryptomerozoites which are produced into this exoerythrocytic schizogony, these are having two types. So metacryptozoites or metacryptomerozoites having two types. Some parasites are smaller in size, that is called as micro metacryptomerozoites, and larger one is called as macro metacryptomerozoites. Smaller one is called as micro metacryptomerozoites, and larger merozoites are called as macro metacryptomerozoites. So micro metacryptomerozoites enter into the red blood cells or red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes to start the erythrocytic stage, but the larger macro metacryptomerozoites enter into the fresh liver cells to continue the exoerythrocytic schizogony stage. So remember, micro metacryptomerozoites enter into the RBCs and macro metacryptomerozoites enters into the liver cell to repeat the pre-erythrocytic schizogony cycle. So again, this micro metacryptomerozoites then enter into the RBCs, and they follow or they can start the erythrocytic zygogony stage of this parasite. And they are having many smaller stages. So again, micrometacryptomyrozoites enter into the RBCs, and here they can follow erythrocytic zygogony phase. So suppose this is RBC, and micrometacryptomyrozoites is found in this diagram to enter into the RBCs. Micrometacryptomyrozoites enter into the RBCs and forming, after the entry, again they become rounded, and that stage is called as trophozoite. Micrometacryptomyrozoites again forming trophozoite. This trophozoite stage, which takes place into the RBCs, is again rounded, and this trophozoite then forming next stage, that is called as cygnet ring stage. So when we see this diagram, we can find that there is having a centrally placed vacuole. So in the body of trophozoite, this trophozoite grows in size and forming a central vacuole. Central vacuole is developed so that the nucleus is pushed towards one side into the peripheral cytoplasm. So this stage is called as ring stage, and this stage is clinically referred as cygnet ring stage, as it resembles the ring-like structure. So this cygnet ring trophozoite ingests large portion of cytoplasm of RBCs, forming a food vacuole into which it secretes digestive enzymes. And the enzymes bring about proteolysis of hemoglobin. So the enzyme which is secreted by this stage, these enzymes can break down of blood hemoglobin. This hemoglobin is break down into two components. One component is a protein component, and second component which is formed after the breakdown of the hemoglobin, that is called as hematine. The protein is used as a food by this trophozoite, while the hematine forms the toxic malarial pigment. So remember once again, after the breakdown of the hemoglobin, there are two components are formed. One protein component which is used by the trophozoite as a food, and second one component which is called as hematine, and this is a toxic malarial pigment. Then cygnet ring stage then converted into irregular stage, which is called as amoeboid stage. So the cygnet ring trophozoite develop into an active form of this trophozoite, which is called as amoeboid trophozoite. And this amoeboid trophozoite can send many pseudopodial processes into cytoplasm of the blood corpuscle. Then again this amoeboid stage then converted into a next stage, which is called as zygont. So the amoeboid trophozoite, after active feeding, again becomes rounded and grows in size and becomes zygont. So this zygont now undergoes zygogony. First of all, its nucleus divides and to form small nuclei. Its nucleus divides to form small nuclei, and these small nuclei are arranged at the periphery, and around each nuclei again some cytoplasmic masses are surrounding and forming a separate organism. So each cytoplasmic mass with one nucleus becomes merozoites, which can be found in the next stage. So such type of merozoites are formed. And this merozoite again liberated from the RBCs by bursting this RBC cell, and these fresh these merozoites after bursting the RBCs liberated into the blood plasma, and these can invade fresh corpuscles. Some of these merozoites then enter into the RBCs again to repeat this erythrocytic cycle. Some of the merozoites then follow the next stage, which is called as post erythrocytic schizogony. So sometimes some merozoites produced in erythrocytic schizogony again reach the liver cycle to repeat the liver schizogony stage, and this is referred as post erythrocytic schizogony. So post erythrocytic schizogony, this stage occurs when some of the merozoites produced into the RBCs, they can again reach to the liver cells to undergo the schizogonic development in liver cell. This is called as post erythrocytic schizogony stage. But some merozoites which are liberated from the RBCs, forming again two types of cells, smaller cells and larger cells, and these cells are called as gametocytes. These gametocytes having two types, megagametocytes and microgametocytes. And these two gametocytes having sexual dimorphism, that is, smaller one is called as microgametocytes or male gametocytes, and larger one is called as megagametocytes or female gametocytes. The gametocytes which are formed by the merozoites cannot be divided again. They remains as it is into in the body of the human being until they are ingested by the vector, and when such type of megagametocytes and microgametocytes enter into the body of the mosquito, they can complete their remaining life cycle, which is called as sexual cycle, which can be takes place into the body of the mosquito. So this is all about the asexual cycle of Plasmodium vivax occurs in the human being. So once again, thank you for all for watching this video.